continue to do these at 11 p.m. CST as always, where we talk about our favorite video game of all time, Star Citizen, and kind of discuss what's been happening with it over the past week or so and what we look forward to in the coming week. So how has your week been, Kato?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, work and school and same shit.
Yep.
Been watching the everyone's progress with PTU builds. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't been participating as much, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, for a lot of people, like, you know, we've talked about that. I think that many cases people have got in, they've kind of experienced some of the crashes and stuff, and they're like, you know, I've kind of been there, done that. I'll wait for the next stable build or something new to come in, and then I'll get back involved with it. Kind of the same way I've been with Arena Commander. It's like, you know, you can only do the fishbowl so many times, and then it's like, for me, you know, I was like, I'll wait till multi-crew. And now that the PTU has had 2.0 in it, I've been really excited about that. So I don't mind getting in there nightly and banging my head against the wall and having everybody laugh at me as I explode and crash and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think it's been a good experience. But I understand where people can only take so much in doses when it's like constant crashing and all that stuff. That's why it's in Test Universe. So good stuff. Zealous, how's your week been, bud?
Crashes, Naruto Shippuden, Fallout 4, Star Wars Rebels. That's just about it.
There you go. Well, good. All good reasons to, you know, take some time and enjoy. I mean, I think for me, it's been kind of hectic we've had, you know, doing the testing, doing the streaming, but then, you know, you get the family and Christmas is right around the corner for all of us and all that stuff. So it's going to happen quicker than people realize. So
I haven't been shopping like yet at all because
yeah,
it's like
that's a whole nother deal there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, I haven't, but like the only people that need to be shopping for right now is myself and my brother's stuff. Everybody else is done already.
Well, there you go. It's a good way to be. I don't feel like with my kids I'm ever done, and we really, with my family, we just focus on the kids. Thank God. Because if I had to figure out presents for everybody else, then I'd be up the creek, to be honest, because I don't know. I'm not a good present giver. I'm like, here's a gift card. You know, but it didn't work with 3 and 6-year-olds, so I'm a little more creative with them. They usually enjoy what they get, but they always have a good time. But adults, I'm just like, I don't know. Why don't you just, you know, you're an adult. Why don't you buy your own crap?
Right.
So, you know, it's like, surprise, I got you a scarf.
You make your own money.
It's like, you know, I don't even mind, you know, if like, hey, you give me a $50 gift card, I'll give you a $50 gift card. Or we could just drink some beers together and go shopping. Why don't we do that? That sounds good. You know, something is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
adult things.
I look at holidays when you're adult as times to get together, hang out, have a good time. Bullshit. That's what you do with family and friends.
Delicious food.
And eat delicious food, even though most of the time I feel like I'm going to have a coronary when I eat my family's delicious food because it's a little too delicious, but
right.
Yeah. And then you get to think about how often I need to go back to the gym the rest of the holiday. So anyway, let's get into this, guys. First thing I wanted to talk about was we saw, for those of you who watched the, what do they call it, the Game Awards, which in itself is kind of an ambiguous title because I didn't even really, I've heard of them. I didn't really know about them. Once Sandy put out the tweet about Chris was going to be there with Mark Hamill and stuff, and they were going to release a new game trailer, and all these things were going to happen, I got really excited. It was like, oh, game trailer stuff, shiny, show me some things, and, you know, and maybe, I don't know. Well, let's watch it. We'll watch it real quick, and then we'll go into it real quick. So we'll watch it here.
The trailer? Or
yeah, we're going to watch the trailer.
Okay.
Just the trailer. 2-minute trailer. Okay. I know it's still straight there. It's catching up on the video. For
Yeah,
everybody watching the screen.
it's over.
Okay, so. Whew. I'm sorry, I took a big swig there of something I probably should have stirred more. Anyway, but so basically what I took away from this is like, I saw it, I started rolling out, and when we're going through some of the scenes on it, and I'm checking it out, and it's got this build process to it, which is really reminiscent of what we've seen in like even the very first trailers they put out of Star Citizen when they were trying to, pitch for crowdfunding and all that stuff. With the the big synopsis of words like want to experience EVA, FPS, and
right.
all this stuff.
The dramatic
the dramatic
narration.
Statements that's not dramatically narrated, by the way, which is really counterintuitive for me. But
right,
I don't know. So let's get your takes. What do you think, Kato? What do you think about the trailer? What was your first impression?
First impression was I was kind of disappointed that they went straight with gameplay. Like, it's a beautiful game, don't get me wrong, but like at the end of the day, this was a commercial that they were trying to sell to the crowd, everyone watching the Game Awards. Not that I think very many people outside of the Star Citizen community actually watched, but it was meant as a commercial. It didn't feel like a commercial. It looked like a tech demo to me.
Yeah. I think maybe they had a few more people watching, but I think other than the games we saw involved that probably pitched to their own communities, I think it was really community-ridden games from what I saw the context of people watching. Mm-hmm. If their game was on there or their game people were on there, it was each community of specific people were involved. But yeah, I got the same feeling. I was like, it felt like a tech demo, but I think it was more. I think that it might be the intention. I wish that I was around today to ask some questions to the crew at RTV about this, because I want to understand the overall purpose of this thing. Now, I was excited about it because I looked at it like this is a marketing campaign. This is the beginning of true Star Citizen marketing. Even though the game's not out, even though it, for a marketing aspect, it might be premature. This is like a lot of times where people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of Star Citizen, or oh yeah, I'm going to check it out. But I felt like what the approach they went with it was like, okay, we said the game would do all this stuff. We want to show them all the stuff we said it would do that we currently have in the PTU as fast as we can within a 2-minute cycle that they can do it. And that way we can say, look, we proved it's happening.
Okay, so you're saying this was more of a
proof of concept.
Go after the trolls. Like everyone that says that we weren't able to do this, look, we did it.
I think so. But that's my big question mark. I don't know the exact thing, because I was originally thinking, okay, it's going to be that awe-inspiring approach of like, like what when I watched the first videos, like, oh, it's like this is. Have you ever dreamed of like doing this in space and doing that stuff? And I didn't feel that. I didn't feel connected to it. I felt like it was a montage of all the stuff we've seen, like what you would see at a CitizenCon, where you're doing a brief, fun highlight of like everything that's randomly happened in an event. But to be honest, every other internal, and I call them internal because they are internal community hypes, right? All the other videos we've seen is just for the people in the community. What we see at Gamescom, CitizenCon, all those little promos are for us. They weren't meant wide. They were meant for either the people that we drug by their hands and say, look, it's Star Citizen, it's my favorite game, or for us to just to tout. I felt like this one was lackluster.
It was empty.
It just didn't have heart to it.
Right.
And I felt disconnected from it a lot. And I'm not saying I don't want to dog on CIG, because I'm not saying what they have accomplished and everything they've done, is it by any means should be played down or anything. But I don't think this really captured what they've accomplished. I don't think this captured the feeling or the potential of Star Citizen or anything like that. So I really think that this had to be like a aha or a proof of concept or something for the trolls, because if it wasn't taken from that space, I don't get it at all then.
Right
That's
I agree
really
100%.
it's really bad.
It's really bad. I think another thing that was kind of weird is like, you know, a couple days before, you know, we find out from Sandy, hey, Chris Roberts is going to do this thing at the Game Awards. It's like, oh, cool. You know, maybe Star Citizen's getting nominated for something we don't know about or something like that, right?
But
and then we come to find out,
couldn't be. But yeah.
But then when we see Chris Roberts and Mark Hamill, which
Yeah.
both, you know, we were expecting both of them,
Uh-huh.
they were there for like 2 seconds.
Well, they're just presenters.
I know, but I didn't know they were just presenting.
Well, and I think they kind of mentioned they're presenting, but I thought for sure there'd be one of those little back and forth, like Chris Roberts on stage for a second, just to kind of, you know, talk about, hey, you know, we've done all
check
this
out my
stuff,
game.
you know, and check this out,
then-
you know.
right.
It's like they said we couldn't do this. You know, I was waiting for that speech. I was waiting for the stand on stage and say, all this was said, it wouldn't happen, but check it out, it's happening.
Yep.
Because that would
Yep.
be I was waiting for the aha moment. And I know the game's not launched. But you have to realize every single one of these video magazines that was at this event, all these people, all this stuff, majority of them all said that you wouldn't even be able to do what we're doing in the PTU. You wouldn't be able to do that with 3 people.
Yep.
And we're doing it right now. And I feel like it's a lost opportunity to me. I mean, I know this game event that nobody really knows about, to me, is like whatever. But
Right.
hopefully their marketing idea of like what they were trying to do is like a little bit more robust than that. Or
Well, here's the
know.
thing: is Chris Roberts in the past has said that he doesn't want to have any huge marketing campaign. The marketing is going to originate with the backers. You know, it's up to us to go out and bring people in. You know, so that's definitely something they talked about in the past. I had another point. Sorry, go ahead.
it's okay. No, I was gonna say, it's basically what from the aspect, and if you watch this, it's beautiful. But let's say you don't follow Star Citizen. Let's say this is the first time you've ever seen it. Can you really understand what's happening here?
No, what the fuck is EVA?
Can you understand if this is CG or if this is mocap? Is this a single player game? I mean, really,
Nope.
there's nothing there. Are those real people?
I don't know. It could be
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. Is this, do I fly from the outside of my ship? What the hell was the guy with the blinking light? You know? I mean, I understand the thing like there. And another critique I thought was interesting by other Star Citizens when we were discussing this during the broadcast. They said, wow, there's a shit ton of FPS in this. Why are they showing so much FPS? And I said, well, it is a first-person game. But I get what they're saying. They're saying it looked like they're trying to make it really Call of Duty looking. With a lot of the... I mean, there's so much gunplay for so
Right.
limited amount of gunplay. I
Right.
mean, they show the scene with the guys on the back of the Cutlass like 3 times through this sequence. And then there's the Cutlass again, and then we're machine gunning EVA, and then we're going to jump off at the thing, and we're going to go after it again, EVA, and we're going to try, you know, and I'm just like, it's, I don't know. It felt like it was,
and it was
very
edited
good.
very poorly too. Like it was cut way too fast. Like you're
This
watching
honestly
it,
looked
it's
like one of my videos. Like where I literally spent 15 minutes and like cut up videos and like threw it together.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough time to really process what was going on in any of those clips. It just flash, 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 flash,
Yeah,
you know,
I
and
know.
it's like, what just happened? You
I
know,
think
and that's really how I was at the end of that. I was like, what did I just watch? I don't even. Okay, it was
Yeah.
2.0, but realistically, I couldn't tell you what happened in it.
Yeah, and I also think that it was like, it felt, and I have to assume Thomas Hennessy did this. You know, he's their video guy. I have to assume that he had a big hand in the editing of this or whatever, you know, as far as putting it together. He's the guy who works on movies and stuff. Maybe not. And if you're not Thomas, that's fine. I'm sorry. But it felt like okay, Chris probably came and said, hey, I'm going to be doing the presentation. We got a 2-minute slot. Let's put something together. Let's do a mesh up what we can do to show where we're at with everything, right? Give me the video. It's like, okay, there we go. Thomas has gone back through, looked at what he did on the old videos. Let's see what we did. Type. Oh, okay. Scene flash. Boom. Say something cool. Scene flash. Boom. Do something cool. Play the music. We'll do a build up of the scenes in action as the music goes. Build up the scenes in action as the music goes. Okay, more big bold statement. Okay, and now then we got to go. Oh, crazy firefights, lasers, and then we're gonna go, boom, and then big explosion, done, wrap. That's it.
Yeah.
Got it. And I was just like, I felt like it didn't have the same emote though. It didn't emote, and I'm just like,
No.
like, okay, look, this is just my own opinion. Like let's say we watch this just for a second here, and we'll go to like the words thing. This is what I'm thinking here. Like this, look how much more this would bring to the table. It's like, all game country, 5 PlayStations. Check this out. Goodness grants. Have you ever wanted spaceship combat, FPS, and EVA all in one spaceship sound? If you like have some voiceover like, if so, start your engines.
Right. It would have added a lot more to it.
I mean, just a voice. Get it. You don't have to have James Earl Jones do it, but I'm just saying some human connect. I want to know these are people.
Right.
I want to know these are actual players.
Oh
devs,
yeah, let's hear some people chatter, some chatter.
That's what.
But the thing is, the sequences weren't long enough to really have chatter. If you added that kind of noise, like it would be overload, sensory overload.
Yeah.
But
it's unrealistic, and this is the other part. This is the other perspective, because you don't have a chat system in the game like a voice comms, and not yet, and even if you go TeamSpeak, which to be honest, TeamSpeak will still be the choice no matter what game adds what voice system in it. TeamSpeak will always be the choice. Yeah, Discord or TeamSpeak, but Discord doesn't have the security protocols we need, or the command stuff where you can talk to multiple squadrons and different buttons. Well, if Discord had that, they'd be cherry. But I think they didn't go that route for a couple things. Like you said, it was so spliced together, there was no moment for that. But on top of that, you also had the aspect of you can't do it in game. And I don't think they wanted to show anything that they couldn't prove is done in game. They didn't want anybody to be able to point the finger and say, that's bullshit. And them go, oh yeah, look, I can do that right now. And I think that's the limiting factor. And that's where I, again, go back to, I get confused on whether this is a marketing to us or saying, hey, look at all the stuff we've accomplished, or this is an ad to everyone else. Because if it's an ad to everyone else, who gives a fuck? Show them where you're going with it. Show them the in-game, but show them, like, this all seems in-game footage. Great. I know you can do more than this. I know you can. Right. You might not be able to do it in PTU. But I don't know. There's no player connection.
Here's another thing that I want to touch on is... Okay, we're talking about, all right, they threw it together in 15 minutes and submitted whatever. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't explain the gaff. It's like they didn't put it together in 15 minutes right before it went on, because then they would have known 2.0 wasn't going live. Can we talk about that gaff a little bit? I mean, that had a lot of people up in arms, like, I can do this now? All this stuff I can do now? Well, no, 110,000 people can do it right now, but the millions of backers can't do it right now. If you came and showed up, you would be locked in 1.3, where you're stuck to Arena Commander.
Yeah, and I think that's expectations, and this is one of those things, it was an opportunity for them to show this. But all they had to do, and this is all they had to do to cover their ass in that. I mean, if it is a cover your ass video, and I'm trying to take every perspective on this, guys. Every perspective. So, if it's a cover your ass video, and we only want to show things you can actually do, at the end of this right here, they need to say, okay, coming soon to live. Or in testing, or in PTU right now. They have to have something there to let players know that just paid for this game. Because they said on the Twitter, they've got 2,300 more people signed up after this.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, but you're going to have 2,300 really fucking pissed people because you didn't show
when they
anything.
Pay for the game, download it, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
You didn't show one thing in that they can do right now. If they download right now, can I do any of that? No.
You can fight Vandal.
There's not one thing in this that they show you can do. There's no fighting Vandal in this video.
Nope.
There's going to space stations that you can't go to on live. So I think they expected originally to have live ready before the event happened.
They did.
Absolutely. You got to call an audible in that case. You need somebody to get the crayon out on the whiteboard and write on the back of the scene like, oh, coming soon or something. You know what I mean? But they didn't want to do that. So, I mean, hopefully they're not dealing with some backlash on that. Right? But
Right.
it might be.
Just...
But yeah, I don't know. The video didn't do it for me.
Nope, me either.
And and we also looked at it from the perspective, I could be jaded because I'm in here doing this every day. I'm in here driving, doing this thing every day.
Through the crashes.
Through all that stuff, through all the disconnects.
disconnects.
Doing all this right here, what you're seeing every day. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching what I do every day. And while it makes sense to me, and I can say, oh yeah, that's when Joe, oh, I remember that. Okay, there's some guy shooting. And if I'm outside this game, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Right.
I just really don't. I'm like, so you can float in space with spaceships. What the fuck's the hole in the wall? There's big Biddy's noodles,
pretty.
apparently.
But it looks pretty. Honestly, I think it was just like, it was testosterone. You're not supposed to think about what's going on. You're just looking at explosions. I think that's all this was.
But here's another thing. I'm going to go back to that little ditty there I just saw. But this is the other thing. If this is the ending explosion, what a piss poor explosion to end on. I mean, it's like a little time. Look, guys.
I know. They should have done the Connie explosion.
Or, I don't know, been fucking closer. I mean, that's not the logo is bigger than this explosion, guys.
Yeah. That was cool how they faded into the logo, though. That was cool.
I don't know. I'm trying to look for, like, there's one scene. There it is. Like, oh, look at this. What the fuck is this about? Hey, look, there's a guy. He's fading out on, like, the moon. Is like that assuming that you guys like, wow, they have planets? Can you go to the planets? Am I floating to the planet? What's happening with the planet? No, it's just a guy outside a spaceship looking over at the moon for a second, guys. I don't know. And you guys might blast me after this and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just speaking honestly. I didn't get it. For understanding who you're supposed to be showing this to and relaying information, maybe if I understood what their goal was originally, I'd be able to understand the message. And even let's take this statement right here, Kato. Right? And Zealous, you can chime in on this too, obviously. Right here on this statement, on this image we're looking at here, it says, all footage captured in-game from live play sessions.
You
have to be really
another bullshit one.
You have to be really careful how you say that.
Yeah.
I understand their play sessions you did in a test server, in your own test server. This isn't a live server, and since we call things like live and test and stuff, I know they're very careful about omitting the word test in anything. And there was other, I don't know. I just no.
No, you make a good point on that. It's like, it's very misleading. I don't think it was an intentional.
No, I think it's like a football highlight reel. But if, let's say, it's like if somebody who doesn't play football watches a football highlight reel. I mean,
it was a football highlight reel of a game that never happened.
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, all right, all three of us have PTU access. We can all do this, and it's, we're not trying to be jerks and, go after SIG for this or anything, but it is misleading. It really is.
It is.
It's misleading as Elite Dangerous, its launch trailer.
It's as misleading as EVE Online's everything on their trailers. Their trailers look amazing. I played EVE for many years, as I always say, but their trailers are probably the most misleading space trailers ever.
But I think EVE trailers are way more effective than what we got.
They're
for as misleading as it is.
As misleading as it is,
they do their job. I'm not sure this.
Here's the thing about the EVE trailers, that they failed it with CIG on this one. Okay, EVE trailers convey the emotion of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
This one
because
conveys
it's all that
nothing.
yelling.
Yeah, you have the voice comms, you have all their stuff, and they have trailers like that'll just grip you emotionally, and it doesn't even have to be relevant to the fucking gameplay. I mean, where is that? Where is that aspect? You know, I just don't. I mean, I don't know. All right.
I think, yeah.
We've beat it down, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just going to say again.
Is he pulling it up?
I'm pulling it up. And I'll say it again. Fuck CCP. Because I can't stand them as developers anymore. They've lied to me too many times.
Okay,
But
what
if
we're going
I
to do,
don't-
guys, we're going to sit 10k off a target, we're going to blap it really quick, and then we're going to warp to the run spot. Does that make sense? Outstanding. Okay, stand by.
Those are actual recordings from gameplay in there. They're like,
So
engage
guys, here's
you.
the deal. They got their Prophecy fleet up, and then Razer also has an Oracle fleet. So we should have some interesting stuff about to happen.
So it's going to be like this. We're going to portal through, and at the same time, the triage carriers are going to jump. Just the triage carriers at first. Everyone clear?
But we can barely get our friends to play with us right now on the PTU.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say, this is a completed game or a completed launched game. I won't say that. It's never really completed, but it's a launch game versus that. But they do such a good job on capturing the feeling of what's happening in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, we'll move on. I won't beat a dead horse. Trailer pretty much was not what I hoped it'd be. And the overall presentation, I was hoping Chris would at least come over, and even if they wanted to show that, he should give some information
Right.
about
This is what you're
context
watching.
for it and stuff. Yep. And all
Yeah.
that. So it's just the way. It was so terrible. So terrible in so many ways. All right, so let's get into like some other things we saw happen. We had ATV also occur.
Mm-hmm.
And ATV mostly was like, typical ATV status SID rep. It's like, oh, we're working on frame issues for PTU. We're working on this and that. We're doing some other things. The pizza's in the oven. We're trying to get it cooked. We know you all want a slice. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of pizza for everybody eventually. But that's just how it goes. All right, so on the Aroundiverse, the most important part, for those of you like Kato that haven't seen it all or watched it all yet at this point, probably the Tony Zurvek interview is probably the only part I would really even focus on watching, because he does go into a little bit of like background on like where they're at, how they got to there, how they made some decisions on that stuff. Yeah, the freelancer is amazing too, as that kind of exists. But they basically the thing that really kind of gripped me to start with was they're highlighting the party system. And this is something you'll notice if you get into the PTU or once it goes live. They must have some background mechanics already there, because I noticed when I was playing with Val and we were not partied, and he was my only other personal contact I had online at the time, it would try to match us in sessions together. We found more and more just going into the session, we're in our contact ever since Build G's been out, that it would just kind of randomly throw us together like that. It could be coincidental, but every time we would get back in, and when we were in a party and one of us had a disconnect, it seemed like it helped keep us in party. And those are great signs to me. Those are great signs that it's maintaining that connection beyond the session. So with the zoning issues and all the zoning stuff they're planning on doing and all that stuff, maintaining that session link in a party is going to really be able to keep you in the same instance, keep you in the same zone, because there's nothing going to be worse if you're in a gunfight and you run to, or if you fly to a different part of the galaxy and all of a sudden, hey, what instance? Oh, we're on the space battle. Oh, something crazy has gone down.
Wait, where did our hospital ship go?
Yeah, what happened to oh man, everybody's gone. So
No,
Yeah.
it's good that they're getting that ironed out in H or in G. I'll probably end up downloading H and try and get in with you guys and test that out and see if that works.
I think it's worth. Me and Val were able, with over the course of 2 hours, to get in the same game session. I'd say about 75% of the time, and actually get in a ship and actually go out and do something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I see real progress there. Now they have identified in the latest build that there's probably more bugs that might cause more crashes, because they've tweaked everything that was there, plus tweak some other stuff to help with frame rate and stuff, so it could cause additional crashes. So they had the CYA, be prepared, this might crash a lot more than the last build.
Yeah.
So this will probably be the one Kato downloads and goes, oh, it's no fucking better, and then says, oh, wait, more. So we'll
You're
see.
probably right.
That's probably just going to be karma happening there.
Always 2 hours downloading it and play it for like 5 minutes.
Absolutely. So, the real thing I saw here was like he talked about, because Disco asked him, so the Million Mile High Club is cool, and I understand that it's coming to 2.0. What else does 2.0 bring as far as social module planet side aspect? And Tony answered, he said, the release of 2.0 will be the first one where you can actually formally establish a party. This is important for a number of reasons. Once you're actually out and undertaking missions, and it's got very obvious benefits, but there's got to be a lot more subtle advantages in terms of when you are in a hangar and you transition to Area 18. Now I don't understand that. It's like now we will not longer just select a random server according to how many players and shunt you into that. Now we'll give persistence towards trying to push you into the same instance where your party members are. And this is something that we're going to be utilizing throughout the game in terms of there's going to be a hierarchy in terms of what my capabilities are versus other players on that server, in terms of whether I'm in a party with somebody on a particular server or whether I've got them, or maybe not a party member, but there's a friend or someone actually I know. So to translate all that garbage there for a second, because he was kind of really excited about saying this. I know it kind of got choppy. Whether you're in a party or not, if you have bros that are in your contact list that you have a relationship, a history with, and you're building it through the game server, Jim, is going to try to put you where those guys are. Whether you're in a party with them already, whether you're not or whatever. So if Kato's in an instance and it says, hey, Kato's in an instance, you're going to that same area, I could be walking down the street and I'm going to run into people I know before it'll put me in an instance of random people I don't know. So you can.
I think that's great.
That's fucking phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So even if you have party system limitations, it's more likely our circle of people are going to run into our circle of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
And they also has a double-edged sword. It also works the other way around.
Yes.
It puts in your hostile people in there with you. Well, you're more likely to put hostile people.
Maybe, but
was
I
this
think
confirmed or?
That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Supposedly.
Okay, yeah, it's supposed to be more likely, not
because
like it will.
It's not going to do that yet. It's going to do the friendly and your contact list stuff now.
Sure.
But as you develop a relationship with people, and this is what's been said throughout the little chat rooms and stuff that I've looked at, you're going to eventually have some sort of standing menu, right, where you can set people hostile. That way you can identify them right off and stuff like that. Once they have this thing and you have relationships with people, whether they're positive or negative, it wants to keep you in line with those positive or negative people. So that way you create your story, I guess is the best way to put it. But right now they're just focused on trying to keep it with party lists, contact lists, those type of things. And we still haven't got our dev to confirm all that with the other side. That was mentioned. People said, yes, people you have a relationship with are supposed to do that. And other devs have alluded to that, but nobody's directly said, if somebody hates you, it's going to try to put you in there with the thing. They have asked, however, where Jared went in and he said, yeah, well, we'll go on and read the rest of this. These are all things that will be taken into account when you go into the area. You may have 2 or 4 or 10 or 20 different servers representing an instance of one single area. But what would be the most interesting to you would be pushed into a version of that area where there are actually people you know and you've got a history with. It also adds some back-end infrastructure in this 2.0 version that we're exploiting to allow us to create the Million Mile High Club. That's going to make it much easier for us to link other landing zones and stuff into the game in the future. So they're using this stuff so that way the instancing, like if you have people on contacts or whatever and you go into Million Mile High Club as a buddy or a friend or whatever, or you're an original backer that has the ability to go there, you're going to have all those type of things. So you're going to be able to jump into that. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. And as Iconiac down there is saying, he's like, you can mark people as point of interest and it'll put you in the same instance as that person. I think they need to do a standing thing still, like a slider where you can set people hostile or friendly, so that way you could highlight their ships or whatever, just like you do in other games, other space sims. But it's their version of doing that in that instance. And he goes on to say it's all been very abstract now at a high level, where the difficulty of example of adding nicks and having players having the server spawn up versions of nicks and allowing players to shunt into that automatically according to whether there's a party member with someone or something else. Now it's getting to the point where it's fairly straightforward to do. So right now they can do it. And then Jared went on to ask the next question there, where he said, yeah, would that extend to things like friends list or enemies list or folks you don't specifically want to play with? And he said, and Tony's answer is yes, but less so. He said it's more for, at least the current thing, is that you certainly want to be able to exclude from being able to talk to people and that sort. We're not yet thinking that we want you to be able to prevent you from going to a particular server because that player is actually on there. The other one is really interesting thing about 2.0 is going to be the ability, what we call is gem routing. And basically gem, the generic instance manager, is a service that sits in the background and keeps track of all the different instances that are instantated across the entire universe. It also keeps track of which players are allocated to which instance and controls when a player wants to move from one instance to another, exactly which one he is routed to. So they're definitely saying, because some people, and this is something I've read in the RSI forums, people want to be able to block people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people have gone to the point of asking that they want to restrict from playing in the same instance as somebody, which I think, and from what Tony's saying here too, and hopefully that means he agrees with me, would be a horrible mistake. I might not want communications from you, but if I can make it so you can't ever like actually play in the same instance as me, how's anybody ever going to fight? I'd be like, oh, I don't like these pirate motherfuckers. Block, 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 block. Well, they can't come my instance. Great. That defeats the entire purpose of the game.
Yeah, that would definitely ruin gameplay.
It would destroy it. Because the whole point of, okay,
people would get bored.
Yeah.
You need that kind of interaction, like, well, I gotta watch my back.
Well, it has to be a choice. It has to be an in-game choice, and it's not a choice where you fight or not. It's a choice whether you as a person take a risk to go into an area where they can fuck you up.
Right.
I can block them. They can't talk shit to me. They won't be able to harass me verbally or in chat. But if I drive out to an open zone, they can sure as shit light my ass up and take my stuff. And that has to be that way for this game to actually remain as raw and relevant as what we want it to be. It has to be.
If you're in the Zix system, there's no UE to help you. If you go to the parlay line...
Guess what, Care Bear? You better not go into Nick's system if you don't want to get your ass lit up. I don't want some guy going, I don't want Mentachi to shoot my ship because he always blows me up. I don't like this shit. So don't go fucking to Nick's. Don't go out in space where my crew can light your ass up, because we will. Stay over there in the green zone. Drive from port A to port B. Back and forth with your little tub ship. Or, I don't know, grow some balls. Or hire some mercenaries. Or join a crew that's going to defend you and help you do what you need to do. You know, it's an MMO. The other option is to immediately erase Star Citizen and just play Squadron 42. Because, I mean... this game's got to be raw. It's so realistic to have all these little barriers, like you can't do this, you can't hurt Joe, you can't. Oh, Billy might get mad. We don't want to have that. If they go that route, I'll be screaming bloody murder over here, because that's just so dumb. It's so dumb. I mean, the one thing games like EVE Online did right, where if you're in high sec and you take the risk to blow some up, you might get away with blowing them up, but you're dying too. Instantly. If you're in a high security area. If you go out in the low sec or 0-0 space because you want to make that big money and you don't like the fact that Philip's been on your ass and blowing you up. Well, guess what? Philip can come there and get on your ass and blow you up all he wants and be like, ha, 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 blew your ass up. And you cry to a dev and they'll be like, so? Don't go out to LowSec. And I love that.
Right.
I love that support. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I took some of that from there on that. I was like, I did Iconiac. He said the concierge forum has been talking about that same thing today. I think it's important. It's a huge direction on how they develop the game. That's why when we talked before in a previous episode about sliders, I hate this shit. Oh, I more likely want to run into people. Oh, I want less likely to run into people. Fuck that. What the fuck is this slider like? Run into people?
Well, that's a GTA thing.
I don't care. That's dumb.
Yeah, it's like it, and it can get taken advantage of too. Like, you know, they'll go in, do something kind of dickish, mess everyone up, then go off and turn their slider off.
The more things you have interacting with Jim, and you can't tell me this is untrue, the more things you have Jim, like, okay, make sure that Joey only wants to go into blue systems, and they have to have sunny days and whirlpools and no pirates and all these different restrictions. You won't get into anywhere, and you're gonna have crashes and everything else even more so. Just go roll the dice. It needs to be a dice roll. I might end up some shit with somebody that's going to kill me. I might end up in a place with my friends. But more than likely, I'm going to, at least the influence is, I'm going to end up in a place where somebody I know is, if at all. That's fine. I don't like sliders. I don't like player influence. I like player decision-making that gives a random chance of risk or reward. Mm-hmm. That's the way gaming should be. Because if everything can be interpreted and expected and influenced to a maximum degree, then it's not immersive to me. It's not going to have the same aspect. It's not going to make me love it, because for all the times I got my ass shot off in EVE Online and burned, it was that risk that brought me back, because you never know what's going to happen. It's not like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll just go through here. That's like, you have those oh shit notes, like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to go through here, and holy crap, there's an entire enemy fleet there, and I just lost everything. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. So
it's risk and reward.
It needs to be. Risk and reward is the thing, because that makes you, when people come back crying to me when we had the EVE Alliance, you know, we had 2,500 people. Somebody go, I went through there and I got my ass shot off, and I think we should go to war with you guys. I'm like, wait a minute. So you went through 0-0 space with a complete freighter full of about 65 billion, you know, trit or whatever the fuck it was, and you lost all your building materials, and now you're a little chapped about it. Well, maybe you shouldn't have gone through there. Well, that's bullshit. We should kill him. Why? Because you're a dumbass. You rode through there. If some guy drove in front of me with 65 billion-isk worth of stuff, I'd probably blow him up too if I'd had no repercussions. I mean, that's just the way it works. So I don't want CIG become one of those groups where it's like, oh, you lost your ship? Here, it's back in your hangar. It's okay, buddy. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
That's what the insurance companies are for.
And they already pretty much do that. So if they start going like, you lost your shit and you got your free ship back already, and then they give you your mods back and your weapons and your guns and your material and all your loot and all your stuff, and I'm going to be like, what's the point? You know? If I don't like you because you did something in the game, I want to be able to attack you. I want to be able to take your stuff. That's a driving force. If I know that there's nothing I can do to you because a dev will just say, oh, gift wrap, here's your stuff back, Joe, then it's not any fun. It's not any fun. It's really not. So it's interesting how they're linking all this stuff, and they're going to make it a little more raw. And at least we know that Tony's on our side to try to make it, well, you're not really going to be able to tell people that you can't come in the system because you're there. You know, you really can't do that. That's what big guns are for. You know, that's the point, right? So anyway, and you know, you can read on that, and they're going to be doing part 2 of this in the next ATV. So part 2 is going to go more into what we're going to see come from this point forward. So that'll be interesting. That'll be real interesting. So, and then we went to Reverse the Verse, you know, and they did their usual howdy-ho, what have you been doing, all that good stuff. And there was, what were they saying? Okay, so the patches are shipping out. So everybody got patches. They're going out. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. T-shirts, all the Answer the Call ones are going out. And then, I was really hoping after watching all the video stuff on the game trailer stuff and then watching the video awards with the presentation for the 2.0 trailer, because they're calling it the Star Citizen 2.0 trailer, there just wasn't a big discussion about it. They said, they presented the award, they showed off a Star Citizen 2.0 trailer, and there was some confusion with the wording. So I guess when they said, this is live game or something in there, I guess that wasn't what they really wanted it to say. So to me, I think maybe when they cut it, they wanted something else on there a little bit, but and it's the same thing me, Kato, and Zealous are talking about here. They expected it to be live, I think, when they originally shot this video. And since it wasn't, I think they didn't do any edits.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
So
I posted Ben Lesnick's response in chat to that whole debacle.
Yeah. You put it in what, the group chat?
No, in Twitch chat.
Twitch chat, cool. I'll pull that up early, actually.
It's probably pretty far up there. I'll post it again. Reposted.
Yeah, we'll bring it over here. And then this is how Ben Squatchy said, "Hey everybody, I wanted to address the confusion about the AC 2.0 trailer. I know that was the line about everything being playable in Alpha 2.0, and there had some backers excited thinking 2.0 had gone live, or that is about to go live tomorrow. Unfortunately, that is not the case. We are really sorry for folks misled by that card, and so I'd like to explain exactly what happened. What happened, we had an opportunity to get the 2.0 trailer exposed to a much bigger audience, but that required our turning in the trailer a while ago. At the time, we were on track to have 2.0 on the live servers by today or tomorrow. Unfortunately, as folks testing and observing know, we hit a slowdown bug, which seems to come out of nowhere. And those not following the testing chatter, that's why you haven't seen a PTU build in the last 2 days. Knowing what we do now, we would have liked to change the exact wording on the trailer. Unfortunately, it was locked in well before the event. So to be clear, Star Citizen 2.0 is not live for everyone yet. It's currently available in the public testing universe for the first 110,000 citizens. Its increasing number of folks will help us test builds for the week, and everyone involved can attest to the fact that we've been doing some serious bug squashing. For now, Arena Commander 1.3, the hangar module, and social modules are available for everyone. We're running into a free fly right now, so anyone who registers an account can try out single-seat dogfighting, racing, Vanduul Swarm, and more. The plan is to roll out 2.0 to the live server as soon as we've resolved the current blockers. A whole lot of the backer test pilots are helping make that a reality, and we are keep everyone updated as it happens. Keep watching the comm link, enjoy the free access to 1.3 for now, and we'll have Alpha 2.0 out as soon as it's ready to go. Ben. So, and then you had the first 3 guys immediately say how awesome Ben is, and blah blah blah, and then some little bit of hate love, and then, but yeah, and then trying to relate that to new people. There you go. Well, here's the thing, and one of the big things we're looking at here is 2.0 is not ready. I haven't tried this next build, and we'll try it as soon as this is over. I got to play a game or 2 HOTS with Solid first, but we're going to try it after the show's over here. But the main thing for me is, I'd say before the presentation and the trailer, it wasn't going to be live for at least a week or 2. After the trailer, they might be feeling a little pressure to get it out even sooner, even if it's not done, which I think is going to be a mistake, but I understand why they probably want to do it. So, I don't know. I think it's going to come sooner than it should. That's my opinion. I think it's going to go live sooner than it should.
Well, we know H is not going to be the build that they put to live because Xylo
They've already
at
said
CIG said that we already have another build that we're working on that will require more testing on Monday, but for the weekend, have fun with H pretty much.
Yeah.
So this is not the last patch we see. There could be one or two more patches, but they are right about there. Looking at patch 2.0.0 G was pretty stable just with the FPS drops. So as long as they can iron out these last few issues, I think they're pretty close.
Yeah. And if they release it too early. Now that it wouldn't have mattered before the presentation and the trailer. Now that they do it, if you come in there and you just immediately crash, and we have to go through the whole, well, we know you're just brand new Star Citizens, but it is a test server, and it is testing, and all this crap. That's going to be the problem, because people's expectations. They were already tweeting that we have 2,300 new people just signed up, like within watching the trailer that night. So if you had 2,300 new accounts created, and you're going to sit there and hopefully continue to expand on that, and the expectation is, hey, this is what I'm seeing is what I get. They didn't say it was test build 1 iota in the whole trailer, which they probably shouldn't, but they didn't say that. So people are going to have expectations. Oh, I can come in here and do this. I'm just saying, people, hardcore Star Citizens have been here a long time. We accept that. We know the deal. We've been around the bush a couple times. Brand new guys that just signed up, rate Hage and piss and vinegar. That's all I can say. Because if I spent my $45 and I didn't have proper expectations, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy at all. So, we'll see. We'll see how that rolls. Hopefully it rolls in favor of CIG and not going the other way. But either way, so they went on to talk about, and the freelancer, they're almost done. They're really close. I think they said by the time it goes live, we'll see it. We might even see it a little bit before that. So I think we'll be there. What was it? Unmel's still working on Ship Matrix. There's one thing I wanted to say. Oh, they were talking about the explosions. And if you watch some of my testing where you've seen some of the ships explode, either from a collision that me and Val were in with another ship where we blew apart and all the guns were left spinning in space randomly. The ships are not disintegrating the way they want it to. So
yeah, the damage states aren't working correctly.
They're not. So they're still trying to get everything there. Track IR is still broken. We're probably going to hear more about the Star Marine stuff. Right now, there's all kinds of stuff. They even addressed my bug issue that I put in there about the EVA, which I thought was kind of cool.
Which one was that?
The one where being able to EVA in and out of ships impacts the gravity and it's messing things up. So you can't EVA in and out of ships, basically. So it's because it's fucking up the interior physics. Like, where you come in, and sometimes you're supposed to anchor to the ground, when you're inside the cavity of the ship in order to run the airlocks in and out like on a Connie. Instead, you drop the airlock, and it ejects you out, like, randomly, sometimes really far. Other times, you just appear outside the ship randomly somewhere. It's because the physics grid is not functioning correctly whenever they break the airlocks open. So when you open up to the air zone, much like the same concern that me and Kato discussed on the example, like on an Idris, like, say, okay, you got all these zones, you got hundreds of people like in their own zones, so they're not actually in the same instance, but yet, boom, the side of the hull ruptures, guess what? Zone 1 becomes Zone B! What happens then? Well, that's what's happening with the airlock opening. And it's basically, apparently, the game takes a big shit and goes, I don't know what to do with this guy, and just fucking tosses him somewhere.
I have lost all consciousness, just do whatever.
Do whatever, it's a dice roll. Sometimes I was thrown in the atmosphere of a planet and burned up and died one time. Another time, I just appeared 20 feet outside the ship, not having moved there at all. Just like, boop. It was like I Dream of Genie shit, where you just go, and I was there. And other times, I'll constantly EVA, and I can never make it back into the ship. Like, if you go out and do a lap, you can never get back into the ship.
Or ejected it out into space at, like, multiple hundreds of meters per second.
Yeah, just sub-quantum drive levels. You know? It's like, what just happened? I don't know, but I'm moving 500 meters a second. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that going on. A lot of that. So we'll see what happens there. And I think that, again, the testing's good and stuff. So as a quick synopsis, excited about all the stuff Tony Zurek's talking about. Really excited. Parting system looks like it's actually functioning, getting in there. It's not working with the game client because the game client has issues right now. It's working most of the time, but it's a build by build scenario. We don't know. Each build may or may not improve or fuck up with the party system. But at least we know that Jim is taking it into account. It actually is programmed to try to pair you with your friends, even if that's not your base intention. So that's good.
To be fair, anytime Tony Zurek is talking about anything, it's interesting.
It is very true. I mean, I could listen to him talk all day. If you had him and Chris Roberts sitting in a room, and you just threw questions at him, I'd be entertained for a day.
Way you can have that better if you can add Travis Day back into the equation.
Yeah, Travis was always good too.
Yeah.
But now I think he just speaks nothing except orc, so I don't think he can talk about spaceships anymore. I think he's stuck on Blizzard. Anyway, so what we're dealing with here, good path as far as the party system goes. PTU's on the path for live, probably sooner than later. Game trailer for Star Citizen 2.0, blue monkey balls. And then everything else is looking roses so far on stuff. But it may not happen in the time frame the new guys want it, and it might happen a little too soon for those of us in testing going, you're going to put this live, huh?
Right. I feel bad because, like, I see all these people, they're like, I want my PTU invite. I want my PTU invite. And I keep telling them, don't worry, it's going to go live soon. It's going to go live soon. Just, trust me, you want to wait. Give it, let us work out the bugs. Let us, get them data for fixing it up, but you'll get it eventually. But it's getting to the point where, it's taking a while to nail down a solid build.
Yeah. I mean, they've started to stabilize it quite a bit, though, but it's just like every time you stabilize it, frames drop. You fix the frames, stabilization goes. It's a back and forth and back and forth. So, yeah, I could see it going live before the, holiday stream and all that stuff. But I'm in note for me, I'm scratching my head at what the fuck the Game Awards thing was all about. I don't get it. I didn't get the trailer. The moment when Chris and Mark Hamill were on stage felt awkward and forced to me. I didn't get the whole thing. Didn't get it. I'll tell you what, when I had a buddy ask me yesterday about Star Citizen because he'd been hearing stuff in the grapevine, and I told him to avoid that trailer entirely because it's going to set false expectations. Watch my stream if you want to find out what's up. So.
I don't think we've seen anything in regards to
I thought it was
the holidays stream.
Actually, I think we do have a date.
Man. Oh, Baron says the 16th.
16th. 16th is the holiday stream, which will be, once again, a big stream event. They got some surprises available for that.
Yeah, probably another concept. Maybe some limited ship sales.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I think we might see some things they've been working on. You might see a re-release of maybe the Reliant or something. There's something they've been working on really recently. Something might be hangar ready that we didn't expect to. Because I know they're really going balls deep trying to get everything done.
Saber, Vanguard. Wait,
didn't see the
Vanguard's
Saber.
the Vanguard's gonna be hangar ready in 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already hangar ready.
Yeah. So I don't think the Saber. I think maybe the Herald. Something different.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Well, the Herald and the Scout have been on the back burner for being completed.
Yeah, but I know that Reliant, they've been fleshing out. They have a whole team working on it. They've been having a whole team working on it for over a month and a half now. That it's done in box. They were trying to get it flight ready. So they've been doing that for the last month and a half. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Wait, the Game Awards, 120,000 new citizens? What? Where are those numbers coming from?
Yeah, I don't know about that. But if they did, great. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, guys, so I think that's really all we got for this week. I mean, next week, watch for more testing. Watch for, the next patch. I predict if this patch, the After I launch, is fairly stable, the next patch will be the final patch before live. If this build's stable.
Okay.
We'll
find out next week.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 20,000 or something like that new citizens.
Yeah, I didn't see 120, and I'm going through the transcript right now. I didn't see 120,000 new citizens. That was not. The biggest thing I saw was like 4 numbers deep, not bigger than that.
Yeah, it's not 100 or something 20,000 because then we would have had well into the next 100,000.
I was gonna say we just barely crossed 1 million citizens now. I don't think we got 120 more. Not saying we won't over the course of time, but I'd be shocked if 120,000 people were even watching that garbage thing. So anyway, guys, so much thank you for watching, of course. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into the Space Bro Show. We appreciate all of you guys. And we will see you next Friday on the Space Bro Show at 11 p.m. CST once again. But after this, we will have the after show stream where I have to play another match with Solid Bold for some HOTS, and then we'll be back in to do some testing for the remainder of the night. Anyway, we love you all. Thank you, Kato, for hanging out with us. Thank you, Zealous, for being here. And once again, guys, remember, fly safe, fly good, and keep pitting in those issue council reports. They love them, man. We like to hear that stuff. So we will see you next week on the Space Bro Show. Again, stay tuned. We'll come right back. Stream will go down for a minute, and we'll come right back with the after show.